is Asinine Radio. This is the weekly music podcast for every week. We get into, normally we listen to a bunch of records by whatever band we're doing, but we're changing it up in hip hop season. This episode, we are getting into 90s season, or not 90s hip hop. Wait, fuck, man.
90s season. It's kind of 90s season.
It's kind of 90s season a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go throughout the decade of 90s hip hop and talk about the underground stuff, the popular gangster rap stuff, and everything in between. Yeah. We listened to a ton of hip hop this week, so we have a lot to talk about. So what we're going to do too is we're going to talk about our top five favorite hip hop records from the 90s. You got to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. And then we're each going to give our top five objective best records of the decade, best albums of the decade. And we're just going to talk about a bunch of other stuff because we listened to a ton of hip hop over the last week, like dozens of records this week each. So it's been a lot of just stuffs. So how do we do it last week? I don't even remember. It's all a blur.
You did yours, I did mine. You did yours. Nope. I did mine. You did yours. I did mine. You did yours. That's how we did it last week. But sorry for pooping. This week is a little bit different because I did a little bit more. So I think you should go first with your personal one, and then we'll go with my personal one broken into.
Oh, because
regions.
You did it because that's right. You set it up by region. That's right. And I'm not into hip hop as nearly as much as you, so I wasn't able to do the region thing or give like a proper ranking of regions. So yeah, let's get into the 90s. My favorite 90s hip hop records. Yes. Number 5, Method Man's Tikal. Fucking fantastic. Method Man is one of the best MCs. I think he's one of my favorite MCs. He's just fucking phenomenal. He's amazing. And this
good, man.
This debut record from him is just unfucking real. And it's crazy. I only recently discovered this record maybe a year ago, if that. Yeah, it's fantastic. I got it on vinyl. Got your old copy actually. Anyway, so that's my number 5. Method Man's Tikal.
I
mean, Wu-Tang. Yeah. We'll get into Wu-Tang and other stuff in the 90s. I know we have a lot to talk about in that, but
there was like Method Man. He's so charismatic sounding. I think maybe more than anybody else from the Wu-Tang. Everything he raps just sounds so easy for him, and he might be like my favorite just overall. But I don't think this is his best, or I don't think this is the best Wu-Tang family record. But God, dude, he's instantly likable. That's what it is. It's instantly likable.
What's your favorite Wu-Tang family record?
Oh, Raekwon,
outside of
Cuban Links.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
That's damn near up there with fucking Illmatic. It's just storytelling is through the roof. It's fucking amazing.
Stupid. Okay. All right.
Tikal.
So I'm gonna go through all 5. We're not going back and forth yet.
Go through all 5. Next one.
So my number 4 is Dr. Dre's The Chronic. To me, I think objectively, I'll get in. It's objectively, it's the best hip hop record ever made. I don't give a fuck. It really is.
Ever made.
It's objectively the greatest hip hop record ever made. I mean, how can you not agree with that? This is the production wise. The rapping. Yeah, it's a little. Dre's not the greatest rapper. Neither is Snoop, and a couple of other guys. But it doesn't matter. The production is what makes it. The production, the attitude, everything about this is unreal. Dr. Dre's The Chronic is number 4 subjectively my favorite.
All week I've been saying just randomly rolling in my 6-4 and just like because I knew that if I kept saying it day after day it would get on Renee's nerves. It fucking did. It did, baby. And it was just so worth it.
That's your goal in life, is to annoy Renee every day. How can I annoy her today?
No, not just Renee. It's anybody.
Everybody. It's anybody.
It's anybody. Yeah, it's specific. It's anybody.
Yeah. So right now, my girlfriend, she has COVID right now, so she's coughing a lot. So you probably hear her throughout the podcast. But every time she's been getting so mad at me because every time she coughs, I ask her if she's sick, and then that just sets her off. She gets so fucking mad at me.
Are you sick?
I say so just like that every time. Yeah, she gets so mad at me.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, no, but you're right. Yeah, no. The Chronic sounds absolutely amazing. It just like sonically, it is just fucking so perfect. It's almost like a computer did this kind of shit because it's so
it's
perfect
too good.
In every single way. It's wild, and it's like a band that goes into the studio and hires like a Rick Rubin to come and fucking polish a turd, right? But like this turd is just fucking still good.
Yeah.
And Let Me Ride is just, I mean, that's just one of the best hip hop songs ever made.
It's so fucking good. And dude, I mean, I got the double LP of this. It's a later 2010 pressing, and my God, dude, it's just sounds it hits so loud and so hard on my system. It's one of the better sounding records I have in my whole collection. This whole collection behind me. It's one of the best sounding records in my whole collection.
My only complaint with the record is that I do think it's a little bit too long. I do think there are songs on here that kind of just like
skits are too long too.
And Dre's garbage. Dre's not a good rapper. I don't like him.
But he's so distinct. Like when he raps, you know it's Dre. Just like Snoop Dogg, he's the same way. You just know
Snoop's
it's
a little bit different. Snoop's a little bit different, and we'll get more into that in Doggy Style. But Dre, when he raps, just sounds like he's like talking out of, like he's pushing out of his diaphragm so hard to be so fucking hard, and I don't like that.
Okay,
just another day for Dre. Like, why are you like whisper yelling and all the time, dude? Just chill, daddy, chill.
Oh man! All right, so my number 3, third favorite hip hop record of the '90s, Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory. I mean, this perfectly infuses like jazz elements with R&B, and Q-Tip is up there with one of the top producers in hip hop, in my opinion. I really, really think he's one of the greatest in hip hop. And this record shows it. I mean, this one never gets old to me. It never ever gets old to me. I think they're one of the most important groups of the '90s as well. In general, I mean, honestly, I have nothing bad to say about Tribe. Tribe are just fantastic. Q-Tip is unreal. He's fucking unreal. His production and his rapping. He's the best rapper in the group too. He's way better than Five Dog. Five Dog is good, but come on, dude. Q-Tip has that unique voice too. He has a very unique voice too, kind of mellow sounding. Love the way he raps.
It's a good record. It's a great record. It's an amazing record. Having an actual like iconic jazz bass player, Ron Carter, throw down heavy jazz riffs and work with like the beats is just wild. It's just wild. It's brave, and to just fully go all in on that concept is brave. And it fucking worked, and it worked to like the best of their abilities. And it's crazy because like the most popular song from this is Scenario, and it's like the last song. And so like after you go through this whole thing where it's just like really like cool, kind of like cypher jazz beats, then you get to Scenario and it's like this posse cut and everybody throws down and it's just super exciting. Like, wow, that's how we're gonna end the record. I like it.
It's fantastic. So that's my number 3. My number 2 is Beastie Boys, Check Your Head. This one I heard it for the first time like maybe 4 years ago. I only ever knew Hello Nasty or some of Hello Nasty. I knew Paul's Boutique, License to Ill. That's all I really knew. But when I heard Check Your Head for the first time, I was blown away at the guy, at not only their rapping, their songwriting. They all play the instruments on the record on top of the sampling. They're great musicians on top of that. The way that they infuse dub and all kinds of fucking reggae stuff into the music, it's just such a nuanced record. And this album never gets boring. It never ever, there's no low point on this record. Never a low point on this entire record. And I know some people would say Hello Nasty is the better one of the 90s, but I don't know, man. I think it's just because Check Your Head was the first thing I heard from the 90s. And I just remember being so blown away by it when I first heard it.
There's nothing wrong with this record. This might be their best record. This might be their best record because like the more I listen to Ill Communication, the more I'm just like, dude, this is just so dumb. And we talked about it last week. Don't want to rehash it. But like Paul's Boutique is something that's a complete outlier. Yeah, what'd I say?
You said Ill Communication. Because Ill Communication's good, but it's almost like the B-sides. Ill Communication is almost like the B-sides to Check Your Head. Still fucking great.
Like, Ill Communication's great, but like, who cares? Sabotage, take it out. Forgotten record entirely.
Yeah.
But License to Ill, it's okay. Paul's Boutique is just their clapback, right? It's their Robin the Hood to 40 Ounces to Freedom. It's like, how can we get back all of the cred that Rick Rubin took from us in the hip hop world? and that's what Paul's Boutique was, and it's a fucking masterpiece through and through. But where do you go from here? Is these guys are rockers, these are punkers. That's what they do, and they play records, or they play their instruments, and they're punk rockers. And so they had to incorporate something like this. They had to do something like this that shares similarities between License to Ill and Paul's Boutique, but wasn't Licensed to Ill, because that record is fucking dumb. And this is probably, like, objectively, this might be their best. Like, like all the check marks of what Beastie Boys aspire to be, this could be their best one. It's not my favorite. I don't think it's their best, but there's an argument to be made. Honestly, between Paul's and this, I think you can make the argument which is their best record. I don't think Hello Nasty, that's objectively their best record.
You don't think so, really?
No.
I would have. Okay.
Nah.
I would have thought you thought differently, but
that's my favorite Beastie Boys record, but I don't think objectively it's their best.
All right. So yeah, Check Your Yed is my second favorite hip hop record from the 90s. My favorite, hands down, Wu-Tang Clan, Enter the Wu-Tang 36 Chambers. Front to back, this record never gets slow. It never dips either. But I mean, it's straight hip hop. There's nothing else there. It's all hip hop. But I mean, the skits are really dumb, but they're not the Chronic dumb. They're not like a lot of fucking hip hop in the 90s, or hip hop in general dumb. It just sounds more like a bunch of dudes like fucking around with each other. That's really what it sounds like, making fun of each other. It seems way more authentic than a lot of the skits you hear on most hip hop records.
That's the biggest problem that I have with skits, is that it's just literally just about like who has the biggest wiener, who got the hottest chick. It's always like sexual based, and it's like, that's fine, right? But I don't want to hear fucking 5 skits of that, and we'll get into the Notorious B.I.G. later on. Like, I don't hear a fucking skit of you just getting head, dude. That's stupid. That's boring. Like, I want to hear homies hanging out. And that thing with Method Man, and I think it's Raekwon, where they're talking about like what they're gonna do to each other, how they're gonna torture each other, and like it's so stupid. You can tell they're trying really hard not to laugh, because
and they're like
so
stuttering. They're
dumb.
stuttering so much. They're like,
fucking.
It's really good. And on top of that, obviously, all the RZA's beats on this record are just top notch. Unfortunately, it was recorded so poorly at the time, but had it been done like, with proper equipment, like better equipment in the studio, and dude, it could stand up to, like, sonically, production wise, it could stand up to the Chronic, because the beats are like, it's all fucking there, but the final result just didn't quite hit hard as the Chronic and albums like that Dre was putting out. I know it's East Coast, West Coast, so it's different, but even like Tribe came out 2 years before this, and the Tribe, like Low End Theory, sounds so much, even Midnight Marauder sounds so much better, sonically than the Wu-Tang record does.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, just this record is just fantastic. The songs are fucking great.
But that's like
one of the
big
greatest
difference between like actual like poor like drug dealers versus like Tribe, who wanted to be rappers, who wanted to be something bigger, whereas like the Wu-Tang, most of these guys were just like, yeah, I'll come hang out with you, RZA, I guess. Like, oh, can you cough up $100 for studio time? No. Like, I don't have $100 for, you know what I mean? So guess that's like that's why this is so gritty and so gross and so shitty sounding.
That's great. I love it. Wu-Tang's debut record, fantastic. So yeah, it's my top 5. Top
good.
5.
Good top 5. Good.
More for me and you. So then let's get into, I guess you're gonna do the subjectives from your regions at this point now, right?
Yeah.
So okay, so we're doing East Coast. We're top 5 East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, and South, right? Just the 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then let's start with
I'm gonna start with my least favorite. I'm gonna start with my least favorite, which is the Midwest. Midwest, just not my cup of tea here. So we'll just get into that here. Bone Thugs. So I don't like this band. I don't like this group.
Yeah, they're terrible.
I never liked this kind of shit, but I do recognize that they elevated gangster rap. They added something to it to make it a little bit different, to regionalize it. But like this whole like rapping, but it's kind of like talking, but also kind of fucking singing.
It's very
a lot of guys doing it. I hate it. And I think when they go, like,
it's annoying.
Oh, I fucking hate that so much. I cannot stand it.
Yeah.
So I threw that here just as like a you should listen to it. This is a 1, right? Listen to it once, just fucking forget about it.
So I listened to all of your subjectives throughout the regions. I've listened to all of those. So you have all of that, and then you put like 25 extracurriculars to listen to, like if I had a chance. And I listened to like maybe a quarter of that. So I mean I have a little bit of notes on every one of these records. But yeah, Bone Thugs was a 1999 Eternal. That fucking album was awful. I got halfway through it and I just shut it off. I'm like, I get what's going on. I'm not going to listen to an hour of this. I get it.
It's a second record too.
It's sing song. I just don't like that type of rapping. But I mean, people fucking go crazy for this.
Dude, girls love this.
That's
like, girls
true, yeah.
fucking love Bone Thugs. Renee loves Bone Thugs. God. But I get it. Like I understand why girls like this, but I don't. More Midwest stuff that I thought it was worth talking about. DeBrat, her record Funkified. She's very deliberate, very confrontational. I do also think it's fine, but dude, she achieved platinum status on her own, right? She's the first female like rapper like on her own to achieve platinum status. Yeah. That's something, dude.
It wasn't like, Little Kim where she was more riding off the coattails of Biggie and Puff Daddy.
Yeah, it wasn't TLC, like right? Yeah. Where they're part of a group like this on her own. DeBrat got
which is very
platinum.
respectable. It's very respectable, but in the end, it's just like typical like gangsta rap from her. I don't think the beats were really that great. I mean, her rapping is fine. She's a fine rapper, but it's not. I thought it was okay. The Funkified record, and then I just reading more about her, and dude, she was arrested. I mean, she's been arrested several times, but she was arrested and went to jail for attacking some server at a nightclub with a whiskey bottle
over her head.
So, like a whiskey bottle over her fucking head.
Hell yeah.
Went to jail for like 2 years, man. I mean, she really is. She actually like lives the fucking hardcore lifestyle. She's not like
hood rat stuff with her friends, dude.
Seriously, man.
Straight up. So now we're getting kind of like some good stuff. Tech Nine, his first record, Calm Before the Storm. This is I think he's from Missouri, which I don't know if that's like
it's Midwest
or
it's Midwest.
I don't know.
Missouri's
Missouri
Midwest
is, to be honest, but I think he's from the Kansas side of Missouri, because I think Kansas City, the city of Kansas City is in Missouri and in Kansas, I think, because
there's 2 Kansas cities. There's one in each state.
No, I think it's the same Kansas City.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
I don't know. Or maybe it is, but then it's split by like a river or something like that.
Because I know some bands that are from Kansas City, Kansas, and then some bands that are from Kansas City, Missouri. But maybe I'm wrong.
It's all
who gives
Midwest.
A fuck about this stupid regional? Who gives a shit? I don't give a fuck. I don't know where the fuck Missouri is. But anyway, this is just cool. This is cool. Kind of like more hardcore hip hop. This was just something I threw in there because 90s era Midwest rap is kind of like non-existent. It's still very, very new, very, very up and coming. But Tech Nine's cool, and he's got a cool flow to him, and I like him. Like very kind of like kind of like that type of thing.
His rapping it's so unique. It's like I would
cool.
It's not like Busta Rhymes, but it's so weird and unique like Busta Rhymes. Like it's such a standout to almost anybody you've ever heard. But with this record, because what was it, The Calm Before the Storm? Yeah. I listened to that. I listened to the whole thing, and I loved his rapping, but I hated the beats. I hated the music. It was just R&B. It was just he was just rapping over like a typical kind of R&B song, 90s R&B, and I just didn't. It wasn't for me. It was not for me.
And we'll get more into that when we get into Southern hip hop, but like obviously like the South part of the United States and then going up into the Midwest, very, very, what do you call them? Like church loving people,
gospel.
Very soul, very gospel. Baseball been very, very good to me. So, yeah, what?
All right. So what do you got next in the Midwest?
That was an actual quote by a baseball player.
I figured it was, but who was it though?
I don't remember who it was. It was I don't remember who the fuck it was, but it was some like Dominican or Cuban, as if those are even the same country. But yeah, he was in an interview, and the baseball's been very good to me, and it's just like it caught on, and SNL made fun of it, and it was this big thing.
Was it
really
Puig? Yes,
no, Puig? This is old.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Old. Very good to me. I can't remember who said it.
Anyway,
I don't like baseball. So yeah. Anyway,
especially the 2003 Anaheim Angels.
Hold on, dude. It's actually the 2002 World Champion Anaheim Angels there, dude. Defeated the San Francisco Giants in Game 7 of the World Series. Both wild card teams. Crazy. That's crazy. Anyway. The 2 wild card teams make the playoff, and then both of those wild card teams get into the fucking World Series. It's wild.
That's probably why the Angels won, because they played against a wild card.
They were the wild card team.
But they played another wild card team. They didn't play like an actual.
We played Barry Bonds. Here's another hit. Barry Bonds. Are you kidding me right now? You joking my ass? That's why baseball is arguably the greatest sport on earth, because one person can't just carry that team.
That's true.
Any other sport, one person can carry that team.
Ronaldo.
Which is that? Does that really make it a team sport if one person can fucking carry that team? Right? The baseball, you have look at some of these teams, like the Giants. Barry Bonds, one of the greatest baseball players to ever live. Clayton Kershaw from the Dodgers, maybe the greatest pitcher to ever live. One guy can't carry the team in baseball. Can't do it. Can't. Mm-hmm. Historically cannot do it. The game is not designed that way. Damn, baseball's good.
It's good. I enjoy baseball.
Do you know how many games I've watched this year? Baseball games? Take a guess. Zero. I've not watched one.
That's crazy. That's crazy. When does the season start? April? And we're in fucking mid-September now? That's nuts.
I have not missed a World Series game since I was like 6, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I've not watched one regular season.
When does it start?
The playoffs start in October.
Oh, okay.
Mr. October, baby, Rich James.
All right, so what's next? What do you got next on the Midwest?
So now we're getting into good stuff. Common, Resurrection. Have you ever heard Common stuff before, besides like the Universal Mind Control?
I've heard dude, that song is fucking amazing.
It's so good.
I forgot the name of that particular record from 2009. That record is whatever. It's an okay record. But I was honestly a little bit disappointed by this Resurrection record. I think Common has a great voice. I think he's a great rapper, but I feel like the beats and music, I think they're very run of the mill. They remind me of like when we did Black Eyed Peas, like where the beats were just okay. It's fine. It's just fine. That's how I feel about Common. But Common's a better rapper than the Black Eyed Peas guys. And I think he just has a phenomenal voice. But I think it's so lackluster. Musically, it's just so lackluster.
I like Common's first several records, I think are fucking amazing. I think this record is absolutely amazing. I don't know if it's quite vinyl worthy, but I do think this is amazing. I think this is very like the alternative hip hop scene. It's very jazzy, but Common's voice is just
it's like this
it makes your knees buckle, man. Dude, he's got such a good voice.
It's like equally like kind of like that kind of like sexy voice mixed with like this like just commanding voice it's like this mixture of the two of them. That's like the best way to describe it. Like he has a fantastic voice and great flow, delivery, everything. It's just so good, but the music just isn't there, except for Universal Mind Control, because that song is God. Africa Bambaataa, fucking that sample that he uses is just perfect. That song is perfect. It's
a good song. All right.
Damn.
And then obviously, if we're doing Midwest stuff, we're going to talk about Eminem, Slim Shady LP, his technically second record, but
it's a second record.
Everybody calls it his first record. That's okay. I'm fine calling it his first record.
Why though? But, why? It's not like he was doing something so different on his actual first record.
That first
just call it. It's fun. Okay, but it's still hip hop. It's still hip hop. It's not a demo. It's not a mixtape. It was an album.
It's more like a mixtape.
Okay.
So I'll give him a pass here. But like everybody knows him. Everybody knows these songs. Everybody knows at least some of these songs.
Yeah.
And like this is Eminem, man. And we're not going to talk. Let me look at my list. There's not a lot of white people that we're going to talk about here in the rap game. But Eminem stands above damn near. He's top 5 rappers all time. Like that's just
totally.
That's without a doubt. He's top 5 all time. Dude he doesn't just have a really, really good flow or like a unique style about him, but it's the way he delivers everything. Also, it's like I can do the unique thing. I can relate to you and to me, but put it into my own terms, and I can make you feel the way I want you to feel. Much in like our album of the week, where Nas is like, having us feel what he's feeling growing up in New York. Eminem like makes you feel what he felt growing up in what's it, Detroit? Yeah, growing up in hood Detroit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Fearless. Dude's fearless in his music.
Yeah, and his freestyling too. Watching that Hip Hop Evolution documentary, watching his freestyling shit, he blew everybody out of the water. Like it wasn't even a fair competition. All the shit that they were showing, it was unreal. His flow is crazy. It's fucking crazy good.
And he was always I didn't get that far. I mean, I've seen the hip hop doc anyway, but I didn't get that far this week. But he's always been like humble. Like he's never like he brags because everybody should if you're that good. But he's also very much, and you see it in the 8 Mile when he's like, I'm gonna walk my white ass back across 8 Mile.
I've actually never seen the movie, but I'm gonna watch it next week.
Oh, you'll like it's a good movie. It's a good
I've
movie.
never actually seen 8 Mile.
But he's always been very humble. Like when he got the deal for Aftermath, like nobody knew. Like nobody knew that he got signed. Nobody knew that he got a record deal. Nobody knew he was gonna be playing these big ass shows, opening for Dre, touring with Dre. And the first thing he does is call his boys. He calls like people from D12 and calls everyone like, hey dude, like come hang out with me. I'll fly you out here. I got a deal. I'm like, no, you didn't get a fucking deal. Like, yeah, I did. Like I'm rich now. I'll fly you out. Come on.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Like he just wants to hang out.
Yeah. Even like in interviews, he never comes off as like arrogant or cocky. Maybe a little bit cocky, but it's not like, it's more like, what am I trying to
deservedly cocky. Like you can be deservedly cocky. Right? Like Kobe was always cocky, but like deservedly cocky. But Kobe like never bashed people that didn't deserve it. Eminem never bashes anybody that don't deserve it.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. He was never into the whole beefing of other people really. Unless it was like unless it was somebody outside of rap, like he would beef with the people outside of rap, like Moby and shit like that. Say it. But anyway, yeah, let's move on to another region.
Oh, it's so good.
Let's move on to another region. All
right. My second least favorite region is the South.
Yeah,
the Southern region,
hands down.
But I like this more than the Midwest for sure. And I like all of these records here. These are all vinyl worthy records that I threw on here. So,
okay, I disagree. I mean, so out of what the 5 you have here, there's only one of them that I would get on vinyl, and I have it on vinyl.
Okay.
So let's start with your least favorite from the Southern hip hop of the 90s.
Like my bottom 3, I don't know if they're like my least, they're not in order of like my least favorite. They're just what I think they did for Southern hip hop, I guess, is why I rank them here. And Ghetto Boys, We Can't Be Stopped, because I love this record. I thought it was
just fine.
This is fucking great, dude. These guys have a style that you can pick up on instantaneously. They are very, very aggressive. This is like poor gangster rap, whereas like NWA's gangster rap, but like you can tell they kind of have jobs to go to. These guys are fucking like not eating dinner type of poor gangster rap.
These are guys that like, it seems like this record and these guys are guys that they can't even like, they're like not even like hustling drugs or doing anything. Like they're just straight up just not doing
it. They're homeless. Like
they're literally not doing anything. Yeah.
And you can hear the poor in this record. And like, to be fair, like Ghetto Boys, they're putting out albums in the 80s. So this is their third record. We Can't Be Stopped. But this is what really like catapulted
the one with
them.
This one has the iconic cover of one of the guys. He got shot in the face. Bill. He got shot in the eye or something. So he's like on the
lost an eye.
Yeah,
literally
he's
shot his eye out.
Blood everywhere. Yeah. So it's like this iconic album cover.
Got shot with a 22. And years later, actually every year after this record was released, they all have said numerous times that they should not have put that out because it's extremely tacky. And they felt bad for doing it, and they should, because it's not a good look. But that album cover's wild, man.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I love this record. I love the Ghetto Boys.
All right, yeah, I didn't think it sounded really anything different from a lot of the gangster rap I was listening to, because that's really what it is. It's just run of the mill gangster rap, but it's just not my thing. Yeah. I'm not. Once again, I'm not big on hip hop. So that's just my initial thought on the record when I heard it. So,
okay,
what do you got next?
3-6 Mafia, 3-6 Mafia, and then Mystic Styles. This is not my favorite 3-6 record, but I still like their overall like horrorcore style. I think like the deliberate, slower, spooky sound they throw out is really, really fun. Obviously, ICP is like, this is their favorite fucking band and their favorite thing of all time. So They modeled their entire aesthetic after this, and it's fun. It's fun and it's cool. And I think these beats run a little bit deeper than normal kind of like gangster rappy because they add spooky elements to them. So like you kind of get like this Halloween-y type of feel to them, and it's fun. It's cute.
I actually like this record. I thought this was a fun record. I was blown away. Not blown away, but I was very pleasantly surprised by this one. I don't like the trap sounding drums. Like I've never liked those types of beats. I think it's like some of the worst shit in hip hop are the trap beats. I hate it. But damn, dude, the rapping, the flow, the songs themselves they were pretty fucking good. And I had no idea that they were like this at all. I guess I didn't know anything about 3-6 Mafia until this week. But no, this is
a fucking song to the podcast one time. You didn't like it, but that's okay.
Well, this album was it off this album?
No.
Okay. Well, I listened to this entire record, and because a couple of these albums from the South, I didn't get through the whole thing. But this one I got through. I went through the whole thing, and it was fun. It was fun, man. I enjoyed 3-6 Mafia. I really did. I wouldn't get it on vinyl, but it really, really exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, they're I think it was their fourth. Is it their fourth record? Whatever it is. When the Smoke Clears is the one that I got from Vinyl Me Please, and it came out in 23. I think it came out after. Was it after or before? I don't remember if it was after or before. But Gangsta Boo, the girl rapper, she died last year. I think it came out before she died, and so then like everyone was clamoring to get it. No, how did it come out after she died? Yeah, it's after she died. Everyone was clamoring to get it, but I love that record. I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Okay, I believe you. Yeah. So what we got next?
And then the next one is UGK, Underground Kings, Riding Dirty. That's not their song, but Riding Dirty is the name of the album.
Yeah.
This is more gangster rap, but I put this one third because we're kind of getting more into the soulfulness of gangster rap. This is very laid back, but you can kind of hear that southern drawl come out, right? You can kind of hear that sort of molasses sort of spilling out of your mouth. Type of thing coming out here,
but not at all.
No, it doesn't sound anything like that. No, but dude, this record's so fucking good. Oh my god,
you like the record? No, I didn't like it. I listened to half of it, and it's I'm not into that kind of soul kind of thing. It's just not I didn't grow up with it. I just not for me. Honestly, it wasn't bad, but I would never ever go back to it. And I get why people like it, but I don't like that kind of soul style that much, and that's lot of
very southern hip hop. It's just,
and there's a lot of singing on this one too. There's a ton of singing, which I was surprised by. But whatever.
Dirty. Okay,
you think it was fun.
Goody Mob, Soul Food. Dude, I love this record. Very Outkast sounding. Organized Noise produced this. They produced early Outkast, so it stands to reason this would sound like that. What I like about these guys, you can clearly hear the soul influence, right? They are singing on this. This is CeeLo Green's group. Dude, CeeLo's got a great voice. His hip hop record is fantastic. It's just too much singing on his hip hop record. And this one, I wish there was less singing on this, but I like that there is singing on this. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I like it's there. I like that it's there because
remember that Andy Milonakis skit?
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying? Oh, he's so dumb. So fucking funny.
Yeah, these guys were so smooth and so aggressive, like subtly aggressive. And Goody Mob is a group. I thought you would like Goody Mob because even though it is very soulful, there's a lot of singing here. It's always backed by
beats are
just
good.
Hardcore rap.
Yeah, the rapping was great. The beats were fantastic. They were on par with Outkast, but there's just something about Big Boy's delivery, which I think is just phenomenal. And Andre too. Andre's not a bad rapper at all, but when you throw him up against Big Boy, there's no comparison on who's better. And that's with Goody Mob. It's just like they're just kind of it's disrespectful, but they're kind of the lesser version of Outkast. Still fucking fantastic. Still great.
They are
still really great, but they are just not. They're just not Outkast. It's like they strive to be that. They strive to be big. I get it. They were all friends. They all recorded, and was it the dungeon or something like that?
Yeah, the dungeon.
And that little
noise
basement,
just a shitty fucking basement
with nails sticking out everywhere. Like you see pictures and videos of it, dude. It literally looks like a fucking dungeon.
And all he did down there was just fucking dick around, smoke pot, drink beer, and make good records.
Yeah, Yeah, yeah.
I just
But I mean,
fucking dream.
the Goody Mob record is it's good. It's good. I wouldn't get it on vinyl. I mean, I purge one of my Outcast vinyl. Like if I'm purging Outcast, then I'm gonna purge. I would never get a Goody Mob record. But now, after this week, I kind of thought, am I gonna purge it? It's in my pile. I haven't officially purged it, but it's in my pile.
Which one's in your pile?
Gemini.
Oh, dude.
So I'm gonna re-listen to it. I'm gonna listen to it again.
Okay. So I
do want to aliens.
I do want to say that like Goody Mob, they are better than Outkast at showing they're from the South. Even though like the whole source of word Dre thing, like Goody Mob is better at showing you where they're from than Outkast. Goody Mob, like the South is just inundated with deep roots and soul and blues and gospel, and you hear all of that in this Goody Mob Soul Food record. You don't always hear it in Outkast, especially as time progresses. Southern Playa, like you hear a lot of that there. But like, so my number one is ATLians. It's my favorite Outkast record. I think it's their best. And it's just, you don't hear a lot of the soul food. You didn't name of the fucking record, right? Soul Food. Like ATLians is very in your face, but like Soul Food shows you who they are, not just where they're from. But ATLians, that's my number one. That's my personal favorite Southern hip hop record. And
did you get to that part of the documentary again when you rewatched it, the South episode where they talk about the Source Awards show?
No.
So when you get there, make a point of I mean, you'll notice it immediately. But when Big Boy and Andre are on stage giving their speech, literally they after every sentence they are saying, "You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?"
That's the South, man. They don't say you know what I'm saying. They say
no.
No, I'm saying.
That's what I always thought too. But in this video, you could hear him say like the full thing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And they would say it on top of like they would go, "You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?" Like they would say it twice in a row. Like that's how much they were saying.
Right? They're this is East Coast rain here, and
that was so distracting. It was so distracting. Funny, but distracting.
These are like, man, dude, like to pigeonhole this whole thing, and it's just these are like uneducated hood kids, right? Kids that don't really graduate high school for sure, don't go to fucking college. Whereas like New Yorkers are kind of going to college. They're going to like city college, maybe even like community college, but they're going. Not here, dude. That's what makes like Southern hip hop so fucking like to me fascinating.
It's very raw. Like Southern hip hop is extremely raw. It's very just there's no frills. They're not trying to reinvent anything. Like New York was like constantly trying to reinvent themselves, especially once NWA came out. It was just like, what do we do? What does New York do next?
Yeah.
Which borough is going to take the reign on like the next step in hip hop? Like New York's always is constantly evolving, but then the Southern hip hop comes out of fucking nowhere, literally fucking nowhere. It's like, what the fuck is this?
And if it wasn't for Outkast, we wouldn't even be talking about Southern hip hop. Like Goody Mob can only go so far. They can only just be a blip on the radar. But Outkast just took, and like again, dude, after the Source Awards, right? They coming out with ATLians next because they won the award for Southern Playa. And it's like the chip on their shoulder was so fucking big. They had to write like the thing that they think is going to be the best record that hip hop has ever seen. And they drop ATLians, which is damn near close to the best thing that hip hop has ever seen. But their run of ATLians, Aquemini, and Stankonia, that 3-record run, may be like the best in hip hop.
It's pretty wild.
Maybe like any fucking pop record of all time. Like that.
See now after this, now it makes me want to take it out of the purge pile. I'll probably take Aquemini out of my purge pile.
Aquemini's long. It's 3 LPs. It's fucking long. But I know. God damn, it's good.
It is, but it's just like if I'm gonna listen to Outkast, I'm gonna listen to Stankonia or ATLians. Like it's just what it's gonna. I mean,
dude, the progression is just it's unreal. Even like you throw like Southern Play in there, like that 4-run record, that 4-record run is just it's unreal, unreal.
All right, so that's what we have for the South. All right, so we're good with the South. Want to move to what coast do you want to go to next? Subjectively,
this is tough because fuck man, I'll do East Coast. I'll do East Coast.
East Coast, fuck you. All right, so let's get into your top 5, your favorite East Coast records from the 90s. What do you got? Go.
There's so many here, and I made sure you listened to one today that is damn near fucking top 5 for me, maybe even top 5. It could dethrone Hello Nasty, but Hello Nasty is my number 5. This is just my personal favorite Beastie Boys record. This is the one I go back to the most. This is the one I know the most. This is the one I love the most. It's her cricking and cracking.
Yeah, got
it's you know what I mean? Like this is the one. I had the most nostalgia with this one. Whenever Intergalactic Video would come on, I'd phone Taylor Moe, friend of the pod, Taylor Moe across the street. Call him on. We didn't have cellies back then, so I call him on his house phone. Have to talk to his dad. Hey, he's here or there? Yeah, okay, hold on. Taylor, Taylor, fucking MTV, go, and hang up. And that was like our code to know that Intergalactic was on, because that was just I think that's the greatest music video of all time. I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
It's a great video. One of their best.
Man, dude. It's like all the videos here too. Like the video for Body Moving too, like the extended cut. Like I miss extended cut videos, right? Like videos.
But you hate music videos.
I don't hate music.
No.
I hate them now. I love music videos.
You hate performance videos. I think that's what it was.
Oh, I hate performance videos.
Yeah. I'm the opposite. I like performance videos.
Yeah, because you're boring. But yeah, Hello Nasty is really cool. I like this. So that's my number 5.
All right. I mean, it's a fantastic record. It's top three Beastie Boys for sure. So what do you got for what's number 4?
GMT, baby, Jedi Mind Tricks, the psycho, social, analytical, political, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what the fuck. It's too long.
Quite the title.
But their first record. This is funny too, because I actually had this record on the vinyls, but this is when we first started collecting, and rarity didn't mean anything back then, right? This is before we were fully. Yeah, but you weren't fully inundated on Discogs back then. You didn't realize how rare things were and pressings and things like that. This was just something that I found in the wild. I was like, oh, this should be an easy record to find. So I'll trade this away to Tyler for sure. Never seen it again. Never seen this again.
I don't even know what I traded for this one.
I don't either, but I remember like, oh, fuck yeah, you can have this one for sure. I love this record, but like, I'll see this again. Never fucking.
It was a pretty good trade for me. But
I love this record. I
was just going to see how much. I was just going to see how much it goes for.
It's like $100.
Is it really that much? Fuck. Damn. No, it's a great fucking record. It's like the epitome of like conscious hip hop. That's what this is. Like the lyrics are just, they're esoteric. They're fucking weird, crazy. Some of the rapping from some of the guys are like, dude, that's not that good. Your flow is not that good. But
any pause.
But the beats are all there. The sampling's great. But it's just the flow sometimes it's a little lackluster. But overall, it's a great fucking record. Fucking love the Jedi Mind Tricks record.
I never even heard of these guys until a friend of the pod, David Bradley. David Bradley's the one that showed me these guys. Actually, he showed me 7L and Esoteric. And then from there, I went to like the Army of Pharaohs, and I should have put that on the list too. Army of Pharaohs is dope too. I think it's a 2000 record though. But anyway, that's how I got to Jedi Mind Tricks. But this is deep. This is like Wu-Tang sounding, like 30 Wu-Tang. Yeah. This is like 36 Chambers sounding. It's very raw. It's very kind of like low end. It's very menacing sounding.
It is. Yeah.
It's
menacing
really heavy.
Is the best way to put it.
Really serious, but I think it's easily digestible because of the production. They use a lot of samples here, and the record is fucking long. It's over an hour, but by the time you realize how long it is, you're kind of getting into the better songs. And the song or the whole record ends with the Get This Low. And has that ODB fucking sample from Mystery of Chess Boxing. Jacques Cousteau could never get this low. And the whole song was built around that. And that is like my fucking favorite song from this record by far. I love that so much.
Yeah, there's some great records. And like there are many parts of this record, some of the lyrics where when you look them up, it's like, damn, dude, this is really interesting. I'm going to look this. I'm going to read more about this, whatever, underwater UFOs or, just fucking weird ass conspiracy theories and shit like that. It just, I don't know. But they were just talking about all kinds of fucking shit, man. Yeah.
That took their time to really flesh out not only just lyrics, but concepts. And then kind of in the same vein of just, I want to make like this. I want to make you look shit up.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what it was. I mean, with one song, what is it called? I'm looking it up right now. I can't remember the name of it. Shit. Oh, The Coming of Tan. The Coming of Tan. Yeah. So the beginning of that is the guy who wrote the book, The Coming of Tan. And he talks about this guy claims that he was abducted by aliens and all this kind of shit. All these experiments have been done on him. And I don't know, man. It's all this. His story is fucking crazy. And the more you look into it, you're like, this guy's full of fucking shit. But then I ended up buying the book, The Coming of Tan.
Did you really?
Book. I bought it like based off of this song.
From this week?
No.
You already had it.
Way back in the day. I still have the book.
Oh.
It was when I first heard this record, like in 05 or 06. And I heard him talking at the beginning of the Coming of Tan song. I'm like, this sounds fucking fascinating. Because at the time, I was so obsessed with Coast to Coast AM, the radio show out here. I was obsessed with Art Bell and George Norton, all that kind of shit. I was so crazy about it. And this guy was on Coast to Coast all the time. And then eventually, and then you read more about it. And it's like eventually he got kind of banned from Coast to Coast because he was bullshitting too much. And he was getting called out for bullshitting. But then I bought the book, and yeah, it's kind of like, it's a poorly written book. Let's just say that. The Coming of Tan. But it's a fun kind of like conspiracy theory to kind of go down the rabbit hole of that. But anyway.
So good. And
Riley Martin. That's the guy's name, by the way. Riley Martin.
And this is not like these guys aren't just getting into Wikipedia and searching things, right? They're digging through crates, and they're digging through like spoken word records, or things that their friends are giving them, or things that their parents are giving them, and they're listening to them and pulling concept, ideas, people, names. And that's cool, man. That's cool.
It is very cool.
Pretty cool. So yeah, that's my fourth favorite. Third favorite album of the week, Illmatic. Second favorite, Low End Theory. I already talked about it. But my favorite East Coast hip hop record of the 90s is 36 Chambers. Duh. Got him.
Yeah.
Duh.
How can you not? How can you not put that as a number one?
Yeah, that's just stupid.
So let's get to West Coast. What do you got for West Coast?
This is my personal favorite style of hip hop, and my personal favorite decade of style of hip hop, region of hip hop, because I guess my number one, I'll get there. But Freestyle Fellowship, it was hard for me to choose my number 5 also, because there's a bunch of other kind of like West Coast stuff that I really, really like. But Freestyle Fellowship, I fucking love this group, dude. Inner City Grind is their second record. This is a sound that's very reminiscent of Wu-Tang, yes. But don't forget, like, not only does this record come out before 36 Chambers, but their first record was released many years before Wu-Tang came out with their first record. So take that for what you will. But aside from the delivery and production style, what sets these guys apart is what they're saying and the jazz feel they're throwing out. After this record dropped, like, they actually toured with a jazz group. They actually had like a live jazz band, and that's what they did for many years. They didn't want to just be guys who rapped over jazz records. Like, they wanted to be a more
like sing-songy,
spoken word jazz group, closer to rapping, right?
Yeah, but it's very melodic, but not like Bone Thugs like harmonies and stuff like that, or singing melodies.
They sing here, but it's not. They sing for the sake of the song. They don't sing for the sake of singing. They sing because the song requires it.
Yeah, but because of that, it was very jazz influenced. So there's a lot of kind of weird stuff going on. Like,
dude, it's so good.
It's good,
but very peculiar. It's very quirky. It's very native tongues minded, but just West Coasters. It's very Afrocentric. The word griot, like Inner City Griot, the word griot or griot, I don't know how you say it. It actually means African storyteller. Okay. So like, just think of these guys as a mix of like Tribe and Wu-Tang, like Wu-Tang delivery and style and aesthetic, and just kind of like Tribe mindset. Yeah. But man, Inner City Boundary, if you want to go back and listen to a song that I think is fucking beyond banger.
It was a cool record. It was a cool record.
Goddamn good.
And then I actually got to this in the Hip Hop Evolution documentary on Netflix. They talk about the LA scene blowing up in the early 90s outside of the gangster rap. And this is one of the groups that was brought up because there was the big what is it? Not a cipher, but it was essentially like a small club where you just go and it's just an open mic night kind of thing. And they would go there a lot and constantly just kind of freestyle, and then eventually it just became this entity, this group that made this jazz record essentially. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool story.
I can only imagine just being in like New York. I don't remember what the fuck it was in New York, but then they also LA, which is in LA, right? That's where LA is. But being in those two spots and hearing all of these guys just like throw out freestyles and just hearing just, and how like rude they were too. And I wouldn't say rude, but how they didn't have the high tolerance for bullshit. Like if you weren't good, you get the fuck out. Like you're done.
Well,
shut the fuck up.
In the documentary too. It was like Fat Joe comes on and he talks about like because he's East Coast and he's like, and he even admits he's like I'm not the best rapper. I'm not the greatest.
No,
I can hold my own. And he's like when I went to LA and I forgot the name of the little club. He's like when I went there, I got one bar in and they booed me off the stage and that was it.
Yeah, dude.
That was it.
If you're a big fat like white looking dude, like you better come out and have like somebody introduce you, or you better have a shtick because Fat Joe's a good. He has good raps. I like Fat Joe and I love Fat Joe. But Fat Joe's got good raps. But if you're a big fat like white looking dude, like you better have like a shtick
like Dominican,
to
right?
capture
or something.
Yeah, but he looks white.
Yeah, he's very very light skinned. Yeah.
And like in the context of like a forum, right? Like if you whatever you look like, you are. That's the way it is. And he just looks like a big fat white guy.
And what's cool about that little spot that was in LA back in the 90s was that they would not only would they boo you, but they would just yell like pass the mic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That was the line saying like you need to get the fuck off stage and let's move on to the next guy. And so they would just people would yell pass the mic, and then that was like fuck, that's it. And I guess like some people would get up on stage and before they even like said one word, they would get booed and pass the mic off the stage. Like before they even got one word.
It's a whole thing. Like you know what I mean? Like
if you just didn't look right, like that's how crazy it was. If you didn't look right, you got booed out. You were done. Didn't even get a chance.
Which is scary and problematic, but like that's the biz, right? That's auditions. If you go to like an acting audition, right? They have one part and 5,000 people show up. It's literally next. Okay, stop. Say something. No, next. It's no different.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Freestyle Fellowship. This is a group that oft gets overlooked, not talked about enough, but kind of like the heads, the true yeds in the scene in LA, fucking all cite Freestyle Fellowship as like, damn, they were good.
Yeah. They're cool. Interesting to say the least.
Good stuffs. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So Cypress Hill, everybody knows I like Cypress Hill. That's interesting. Black Sunday. We did we do this on the pod?
We did this. It might have been a forgotten episode, but yeah, we have done this on the pod at some point over the 8 years we've been doing the pod. But yeah,
I like Cypress Hill. I love this record. I know you don't like it.
No, I don't.
Like Be Real.
I don't like this record.
That's all right.
I tried. I got halfway through again. I mean, I've listened to this record in its entirety. I mean, like you said, we've done this on the pod, and I got halfway through, and I'm like, I get it. I know. I've listened to this. It's just not for me. I don't get it. I don't get Be Real's appeal at all.
It's pretty wild though, because out of all the records that we talk about, this is like the most out there. This is the most kind of esoteric thing that we've talked about.
Yeah,
nothing else really sounds like Cypress Hill. And so it's kind of like, is this even hip hop or is this like rock that just kind of like raps, right? Like we talked about Blondie last week. That's not hip hop. That's rock that just has a rapping part. Is Cypress Hill a rock band that just has rapping parts to them? But like, no, they don't have a band. It's just like a DJ and two MCs. Two MCs and one DJ. We be getting down with no delay.
That's good.
Anyway, all right. So yeah, we talked about the Alcoholics, 21 and over. This is my third favorite. This one's funny too. Do you remember when I was in California a time ago? Not the last time, but the time before that, and we were at what's the one that got bought out in Costa Mesa by Record Safari?
Oh, Port of Sound.
Port of Sound had the Alcoholics record.
Oh, that's right. And you picked it up, huh?
No, I didn't pick it up there because this was early in our collecting. I was like, oh, if he has it, surely everyone has to have it, right? Fucking never saw it again.
Yeah.
Never saw it again. So then last time I was out, we were at White Rabbit, and he had not an original, but a second pressing. And I was like, nah, dude, I learned my lesson. I know things now. I know more now than I did then. So I bought it then.
You had your store at that point. Your store had already been open. So you got it. Yeah,
learned so much, and
that's what I was
years.
That's what I was thinking because I remember. So
that's where I bought it. I bought it. So I did buy it in California, but very in line with like Far Side. This one's a little bit more.
It's a cool record.
Underground, a little rougher around the edges than the Far Side is.
Oh, definitely.
But I fucking love this record, man. It's so goddamn good.
It's not nearly as goofy as the Far Side record.
It's a little more hardcore, a little more serious sometimes. But they try a little bit harder. Farside does not. Well, I'll get there in a minute, but yeah, they do not try.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good record. The Alcoholics record is good. So you're number 2.
Dre, Chronic, easy. Talked about it. Duh.
Yep.
But like my favorite hip hop record. This is like by far my favorite hip hop record of all time, and that's Far Side, Bizarre Ride 2.
Crazy.
This is without a doubt my favorite record. This is such a nice breath of fresh air in the 90s machismo game. It's fun, it's lighthearted, but it's got a lot of variety. The skits are funny. They're not skippable. I like them.
Game show kind of things. They are very silly.
They're cutesy, but they I don't know. Long. I'm a goofy kid. I like pop punk and shit. You know what I mean? So I'm always going to gravitate towards something that's more lighthearted, no matter context. Like if something just sounds more lighthearted and upbeat, I will choose that over something of the opposite. And if you just took everything out, I will choose something that sounds like this over something that sounds like the Wu-Tang, because I want to just be happy or more than I want to be sad and depressed and angry. So
I get it. And we did this right before the new format of the podcast. Like, so it's not available anymore. I've listened to this record several times because of that. I listened to it this week. I thought I liked it more than I actually did, and I don't get it. It's too convoluted. It's just there's too much going on with the skits and everything. Stupid. Like, you could probably cut this record like down 25 minutes and you'd be good.
No way. Everything needs to be here. The whole the song Quentin about their fucking weed dealer. Quentin's on his way, and it's all okay. Let's talk about their weed dealer coming to fucking bring him fucking pot. It's like so fucking funny.
I don't know. It didn't hit me the same way this week. So I did not care about this record.
Yeah, I love this record through and through, and I know this record like the back of my hand. I listen to this record at least probably once every couple of weeks, at least. All right, so let's let's get into our objective, like the best records of the decade, and then we'll just touch upon a few of the extracurriculars that we listened to over the week. So objectively, we're gonna go back and forth on this one. So what's your number 5 best album you think objectively of the 90s is? You put 5 records in a time capsule and say this is the 90s. This is what 90s hip hop sounded like. Here we go. Number 5, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. We did the Fugees, and so we listened to this one. I don't have this on the vinyls anymore because it is a banger of a record, but it goes from rap to R&B to soul so much that I don't want to listen to it that often. It's much more R&B and soul.
It's more R&B than soul than hip hop.
But what Lauryn Hill did for hip hop is for fucking what Lauryn Hill did for the music in this era. She elevated the game for everybody in music, female and black, right? She needed something extraordinary to be mentioned alongside the big dogs of music in the 90s. And she brought the fucking heat here. People love like the singer-songwriter shit. And Joni Mitchell is Joni Mitchell's Blue is still something that like that's a masterpiece, and I've come to like that one a lot more too, especially my Riot Girl phase right now that I'm going through.
Yeah, you're really going through this right now.
Like I don't know what started it, but I'm all about it right now. But yeah, with I think Miseducation, what we get here is just an updated Blue. We get an updated Joni Mitchell Blue, and I like that.
I do too. It's a great record, and what she did on this record and with the Fugees record, dude. She hands down, she's the best part of the Fugees. Like her rapping is better than everybody else in the group. Just everything about her is amazing. Like she is fucking fantastic. She has a beautiful voice. Like when she sings and raps, the way that she goes in and out of both of those things is phenomenal. And we talked about it on the Fugees. We did the Fugees record a couple of years ago, and that one's still available. So, you can go listen to that one, and we praised fucking Lauryn Hill like crazy.
Just her iconic thing, like, you can't run, you can't hide, gonna find you, right? That's a rap into something that she's singing.
You sounded just like her, too.
Flawlessly. Of course I sound like Lauryn Hill. I sound better than Lauryn Hill.
That was crazy.
Lauryn Hill sounds like me.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's very, very true. So that's your number 5, Lauryn Hill. Yeah. My number 5 is Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style. This is up there with one of the biggest gangster rap records or if not the second biggest gangster rap record of the 90s. Dre produced this record. It's crazy when you listen to it, how many like hit songs are on this fucking record. I would say there's more hit songs on this one than there are the Chronic. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And Warren G is all over this. And y'all know if Warren G is on a hook, that song's going to be a fucking hit.
Fucking love
like,
Warren G.
Without a doubt, that song's going to be a hit if he's singing the hook. And that's what this record is. The production is all here because it's Dre. Snoop Dogg is Snoop Dogg. He's unique. Nobody sounds like Snoop. Not the greatest rapper, but who gives a fuck? It's his own thing. It's his own style. This record is phenomenal, and I think it's so important to 90s hip hop and hip hop in general. I really think it is.
Here's why. I love this record. I own the vinyls.
I have it on
I'm
vinyls
getting rid
too.
of it.
I have it on vinyls.
But here's why I don't think
Sloan gave me this record.
I know that was
gave it to me.
You took advantage of somebody.
I didn't take it. He's like, he just gave it to me.
Yeah, you could have said no, but you wanted it, so you said you didn't say anything.
I said, I asked him if he was sure you want to give it to me.
Oh yeah, yeah, Sloan, are you sure? Oh yeah. Here's why I don't think it should be in your top 5. One, because it's this is really a companion piece. It's a companion piece to Chronic.
That's fair.
That's what it is. It's not the B-sides because it's something totally different, but same sound, same vibe, same guys. But like, damn, it is really, really, really fun. Mm-hmm. And Snoop is just like he's both the greatest rapper and the worst rapper of all time, right? Yes. Because he's such in his own category, and he's so fucking bad, but he doesn't give a shit.
I know. He's got the swag, man. He's got
not give a fuck.
Yeah. He's got
like,
the
bro,
confidence.
You are bad.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. But he looks fucking weird. He has like the weird voice. Like everything about him is not conventional. Is not a normal what you would hear in music or what you would visually see in like a music video. Like he's just unique. There's nobody like Snoop.
And he's always nice.
Yeah, right.
Like, he's always just chill and the one time I kind of sort of met him, like I'll never forget that. And it's just remember the whole meme where it was him, Martha Stewart cooking, and they're like, one of these two people is a convicted felon, the other is Snoop Dogg. It's like, damn, bro, that's wild.
Murder is the case they gave me. Jesus
so
Christ.
Good, dude.
Okay. Yeah. So what do you got for number 4? I feel like our top 4s we're gonna get through. We've already
everything else. Yeah, everything else we've talked about. So my number 4 is 36 Chambers. I objectively think this is top 5 90s hip hop. Yes, 36 Chambers.
Yeah, my number 4 is Tribe, Low End Theory. I think this record, production wise, I think just really set the bar for underground conscious hip hop and New York hip hop in general. I mean, had it not been for this record, we wouldn't have had Illmatic the way we do, and a lot of East Coast hip hop especially. So Tribe's Low End Theory is my number 4.
Number 3 for me is Low End Theory.
3 is Nas, Illmatic, which we'll get into on the main episode. So what do you got for number 2?
The Chronic.
Okay. All right. So my number 2 is Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers.
Wu-Tang.
We're into the Wu-Tang. I mean, like I said, everybody cites Wu-Tang. Like every rapper post 1995, because that's when this record came out, I think, right? Post 1995 cites Wu-Tang as one of their biggest influences, hands down. Like there's no question about it. What RZA was doing production wise with what he had, and then what every member of the group, outside of like one dude, God, who was just like, he's like on one verse, who cares? Everybody in that group offered something unique and special to it. And just what the fuck, 9 guys in this group? Like I watching that documentary, it was like they would go to radio stations and they would say, "No, you're not going to get played. There's 9 of you here." Like what is going? Like this is not this. None of this makes any sense. It was so unconventional at the time, but they made it fucking work. And it's crazy with 9 guys in there, 9 MCs, not just random dudes. These are 9 MCs, and how cohesive and how nobody's stepping on top of each other. Nobody's trying to be like the golden child of the group. Everybody has like, for the most part, has like equal reign outside of like with God, obviously, because he was in jail. And I think one of the other guys, he had some issues too, so he wasn't really on it. But overall, everybody got, Capadonna. But everybody else had like a fair shake on the record for 9 dudes. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking guys in one record. It's like Slipknot.
Yeah. But at least with Slipknot, everybody has their own thing to do, their own instrument to play. It's not like 9 MCs. It's not 9 Corey Taylor.
Standing around waiting Corey for their turn.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. And then, but on top of that, they all had like their own personality. They had their own egos and all that kind of shit. But they still brought it all together for Wu-Tang. Like this record is unreal. It's unmatched. It really is unmatched. So that's my number 2.
Good. My number 2 is, wait, did we do number 2? I did number 2. You did.
Yeah.
My number 1 is Illmatic. Illmatic, I think, is the best record, hip hop record from the 90s.
All right. So Dre's Chronic, The Chronic is my number 1. I think objectively that's the greatest hip hop record ever made. Objectively, the greatest ever made.
Wild stuff.
It is. I don't make the rules. Don't make the rules.
I don't fucking follow them either.
So extracurriculars, just some stuff we listened to. I mean, you made a list of like
extracurriculars.
You made a list of like 25, 30 artists. I listened to quite a few of them, not all of them, obviously, but quite a few of them. And so we're just going to kind of run through the ones that at least I listened to. I'm sure some other. Well, so what do you? I don't know.
This is you. What did you hate?
What did I hate?
Give me a couple that you hated.
One I really didn't like was the Missy Elliott. I listened to Super Duper Fly.
Super Duper Fly. That's okay. A little too R&B.
It was
a little too much.
It was all R&B.
Yeah.
All R&B. Honestly, I listened to Tupac. I didn't care for Tupac. I listened to Tupacalypse.
Oh, dude, Tupac is now so good.
I just didn't. I don't get Tupac. I understand why people love him because of his lyrics and all that. But when it comes to his rapping, he's a good rapper. But to me, there's nothing that really sets him apart. Once again, just a random white dude, and I'm not a big hip hop guy.
Oh.
But Tupac, I get his relevance, but it's just not for me.
Tupac is like my first love in hip hop. Tupac is the first like hip hopper that I really, really got into. What Got You Fired, and Tupac is like my first true love in hip hop. And I go back and forth over the years, and sometimes like, fuck Tupac, he's overrated. And then like this week, I've really had like this renaissance coming back, and I'm like, God damn, dude, this guy is like, it's poetic. The downfall of Tupac. The guy just, he could have been bigger than he already is, and he died so young. He could have been bigger, but because everybody around him was telling him all these different fucking things, and because he got so paranoid and thought that his best friend, like you always kind of go back and forth between like the East Coast, West Coast, saying like, oh, like who killed Biggie, who killed Tupac, and it's like, dude, I think Tupac just got in with gangsters, and that's what killed him. I think Biggie was murdered. I think Biggie was assassinated by Suge Knight straight up. I think Tupac was just murdered by gangsters because he's a dickhead and they were dickheads and they're all dickheads. Hey, but like Tupac is a guy that right from the get go, fucking Digital Underground on Same Song. Like his verse in Same Song is one of his best verses he's ever done. It is fucking amazing. It is goddamn
but he
good.
also
didn't iconic.
He didn't belong in Digital Underground. Like that's not
once that song came out, which wasn't even on a record. It was like a fucking B-side or like an EP or some shit, like a song that wasn't even on a record. Once Tupac dropped that verse on Same Song, everybody realized like, yeah, okay, goodbye Digital Underground. Here comes Tupac. And then Tupac lives now. Brenda's Got a Baby. That song, dude, that song is fucking so aggressively conscious. Like, my God, like no one has done a song like that. That is in that like gritty way.
I hadn't heard that song until this week, and I was watching that Hip Hop Evolution documentary, and I forgot her name. There's a journalist up in the Bay Area, maybe somewhere in California, whatever, and she was talking about that song and how it hit her so hard because she went through that exact same experience, and she was praising Tupac for how the song was from the perspective of the woman, having the abortion and all that shit. I'm like, damn, dude, that's fucking. And she was like, he was the first one to ever do it. And not only was he the first one to do it, but he did it in such an eloquent way to where it wasn't misogynistic at all. It was like,
it sad.
It just spoke to like the core of every woman who has ever been put in that situation. And then I went back and listened to it and read the lyrics. I'm like, damn, dude,
it's wild, right?
It is wild.
Dude,
like
crazy.
once again, like I absolutely respect Tupac. I think a lot of what he did and said was just fascinating and just really important to the culture and hip hop in general. But it just didn't resonate with me. It just does not resonate with me. Maybe I need to listen to it more, but I absolutely respect it.
Tupac is like the rise and fall of maybe like rap's biggest star, which is an understatement because Tupac could have been like the biggest pop stars ever lived.
But once again, it comes down to like he kind of had a shitty attitude. Like watching that documentary and reading a little bit more Tupac, because I'm like, is this documentary because the documentary was very positive toward Tupac, but then it was just like everything they would talk about in regards to him was very kind of like he's kind of a dickhead. Like he was
a dickhead
he was
to
a dickhead.
authority.
He
was a punker.
But he was also kind of a dickhead to like not his peers, but just like people like just a little bit outside of the group. You know what? Like outside of like
because
hip-hop.
like he got fucking shot and stuff, and he would get jumped, and he would like people like out to kill him. And like the big thing between like the Pac and Biggie beef, which wasn't even a beef because Biggie like had no part in this.
Yeah,
but then like it makes you kind of think, right? Because like Pac had like famously said that like, dude, Biggie was my friend, and they were friends. Pac's from fucking East Coast. He moved to Oakland. He's not even from fucking Southern California. So like the whole like thing that made Pac famous in the day was Pac was like, yeah, you're telling me like I'm in the biggest fucking rapper in New York with the biggest producer in New York, and I get shot in your fucking lobby and nobody knows about it? And that's like, damn. Okay, I get it, dude. I get why you're paranoid. And then if you listen to his records from Tupacalypse Now to like Against All Odds and then all the way to like Machiavelli, right? You can see this transition from Pac being this socially conscious kind of like native tongues-esque person that wants to like promote Afrocentric themes into somebody that's like, man, fuck everybody. You try to kill me, now I'm gonna kill you. And that's tragic. All in his 20s.
Yeah, I know.
And it's sad to hear this kid like rise and fall and get destroyed for something that probably didn't even happen. Like it was all a big misunderstanding, right?
Yeah, from what it sounded like, yeah, it really sounded like that. Because I mean, watching like interviews of Biggie and some of the other guys, you know, on the East Coast, they were pretty. They seemed at least
they're
like
probably
torn
crying
up
and shit, right?
Yeah, they were like torn up by it, and yeah, I don't know. And then you know, I didn't even realize it, but Biggie was only 24 when he died. He looked like he was 50. He looked like he was fucking 50. He looked so old. He just looked like an older guy, man.
He's
but anyway,
big and fat. His hat's real low.
So yeah, Tupac. Yeah, it's just not for me. I get the relevance and I get why he's so popular. It's just there's something about it that it doesn't.
Also, like let's not discount the fact that the whole East versus West Coast beef was heavily promoted by the media, was heavily promoted and by like Suge Knight, right? Like Suge Knight was like, damn, I can make a lot of fucking money if I do this, this, and this. But because he is gangster minded and not entrepreneur minded, it got the better of him. But yeah, for sure, like the media had a big hand in promoting the East versus West Coast beef, because these guys were not they were not enemies. And the way they became quote unquote enemies is because like the whole like Who Shot You, right? After Pac got shot, and Biggie had already had a song that had like something, I think it was called Who Shot You.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is the fucking 90s. It's not like I can record a song and put it out in fucking a week. Like, no, dude, this takes months and months and months. Like, this is before you got shot. But like Pac took it serious. And like, I don't blame him for taking it serious. Dude got lit up in a fucking lobby.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I get it. I totally get it. Totally get it. Well, going to Biggie, Ready to Die. This album I really enjoyed this record.
Biggie's
I really
cool,
did.
man.
I really enjoyed it.
Good flow to him.
Outside of Puffy, because Puffy is like, I'm taking like all the personal shit over the last like 5 years out of it. Like, I can't stand Puffy. I can't stand Bad Boy.
He's the worst.
Bad Boy Entertainment. All that shit is fucking so dumb. It's so dumb.
I do like that song.
The Bad Boys for Life.
Like that. I did like that chorus. We ain't go
so bad.
Nowhere.
And Travis Barker's playing drums in the video.
We ain't go nowhere. But yeah, you're right. Like this Biggie record is absolutely amazing.
Like
and Biggie's cool because
I kind of want to get on vinyl.
Biggie raps and he hits the backbeat, right? So like we're always used to like in the front right there, like rapping on that. But the Biggies go, it was all dream.
Yeah.
It's on the backbeat there. And it's fucking cool. It's got a cool little bounce to him. And we don't see that a lot in hip hop. We see a very deliberate kind of like
it's very attacking. Sense. It's very attacking, like ba 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 ba. It's just very kind of like punchy in the face. But yeah, Biggie's just like laying back, like sitting back in a chair, or couch, or whatever, just kind of letting
skits, dude.
The skits are terrible, fucking terrible.
Those skits, unlistenable. Like I'm not gonna sit through fucking 3 minutes of Biggie.
Yeah,
and like there's a part where like he's getting head, and supposedly it actually happened, and they kept it on. Like, why the fuck would you keep that, bro?
Tip hop, baby, tip hop.
That's something.
The culture.
That's something.
So yeah, I really like the Biggie record. I really, really did. Black Star, listen to the self-titled record. I've heard it before. It's solid.
God, I mean,
Mos Def and Talib Kweli it's a great record. Great, like some of the best like conscious hip hop out there. It's fantastic. Listen to Busta Rhymes, The Coming. I think Busta Rhymes is a great MC. I just don't think he has the greatest beats. He's very, very out there. He's fucking wild. But it was fine. The Coming was fine. Listen to Redman, fucking great record. It's so good. Redman is fucking solid.
Redman's good.
And then the last thing here I listened to was Company Flow, Fun Crush.
That was it.
That was it, dude.
Dude, you didn't put Das FX. You didn't do Dell. You didn't do Main Source.
I didn't have time, man.
You didn't do Pete Rock, Camp Low, Hieroglyphics, DJ Shadow.
I listened to like 25 fucking hip hop records this week. That's a lot in a week.
Holy
That's a
shit.
lot of hip hop, man. And I'm not a hip hop guy. You got to give me some credit here, man.
I listened to
and that doesn't include like the hip hop I have on my vinyl, because I listen to all that Beastie Boys stuff from the 90s. I listen to a lot of shit that's not on this list on top of it. But yeah, Company Flow, fucking amazing. This record was so fucking good. It was so good. I don't care what you have this like weird thing with LP where you really don't like LP for some reason.
Because like, dude, there's
beats were
I specifically
so good, man.
I specifically so not Atlantically, I Pacifically, because we're West Coast. Yeah. I specifically put stuff on here that I think that you would have liked if you listened to them, but you didn't. Did you listen to Black Sheep?
Dude, let's see. Just in the extracurriculars, you put 23 things, because I added 2 things here. So you put 23 things here. That's a lot. That in itself is a lot to listen to in a week. That doesn't include all the stuff we talked about in the South, Midwest. All of that shit I listened to as well.
You should have at least listened to Main Source, because that's part of the album of the week. Pete Rock and CL Smooth, that's part of the album of the week. But there was I told you twice to listen to Black Sheep.
You did, but I just didn't have time.
And now when you listen to Black Sheep, you're not going to like it, and it's just completely fucking wasted. But Black Sheep was something that I almost put in my top 5 because it's so fucking good.
I'll listen to it after this. There's a few things here I want to listen to. I just didn't have the time to listen to. But yeah, most of it was
Company Flow. Company Flow, of course, it's fucking great. Like it's.
Dude, LP has some of the raddest beats. Like with Company Flow isn't the same as like the Run. It's not even close to Run the Jewels stuff. Like the Company Flow stuff was very it was very not shoegazy, but it was very subdued, like almost like not Postal Service. What is that? What would you consider that? Like that kind of like electronic kind of beat, but it's not techno, but it's not. He's still sampling, but I don't even know how to explain it. But the Company Flow record was fantastic. I fucking loved it. But you have this like crazy weird thing against LP. For some reason don't like him.
I love LP.
All you do is complain about him.
I complain that you think LP is God when I'm trying to give you like
I think he's a fantastic 15
other
producer.
records that if you like this, you will love these. He's a fantastic producer.
So then what's your issue?
Like, just because a producer is great doesn't mean an album is going to be also great.
I agree.
Like Black Stars, that's fucking better than Company Flow through and through. I think
That's
Dr. Octagon is better than Company Flow. I think fucking Warren G is better than Company Flow.
Once again,
I think Onyx, Back to Fuck Up record.
Mobb
Deep.
Deep.
It feels good to be a gangster.
Mobb Deep,
the
infamous.
Office?
I do remember that. The infamous Mobb Deep. That's a great fucking record. I didn't listen to it this week, but I know I'm very familiar with that record. That's a fantastic fucking record.
Fuck yeah. Dude, Warren G Regulate. I think Warren G's Regulate is I think that sounds the most like West Coast hip hop than anything Dre ever did. You listen to Warren G's Regulate and like, oh, that's the West Coast's answer to like Illmatic.
Okay.
Like when you listen to Illmatic, like, oh, dude, I feel like I'm in. Oh, dude, that's how people like talk when they're
exactly
outside of California. Hey, dude. Hey, fellow New Yorker. When you listen to Illmatic and you like your place in New York, Warren G, Regulate, dude, your place in SoCal, your place in LA. It sounds more like LA than the Chronic does. Not as good as the Chronic, but it sounds more like LA than the Chronic. But dude, Black Sheep, you should have listened to. I told you twice already. It's not a big deal. Das FX. Dude, fucking amazing. They're the band that did like, they added Iggity to the end of everything. Like the album Dead Serious Iggity, or Dead Iggity. It's so fucking good. And then Dell the Funky Homo Sapien, right? Like we talked about NorCal, and we talked about off pod here. Yeah. Like how Frisco and that area just kind of like sucks
terrible
fucking nards for hip hop.
It's
amazing
terrible
music scene, but like, dude, garbage for hip hop.
Yeah.
But like Dell, the Funky Homo Sapien, like we fucking love Dell. Wish My Brother George Was Here. And that's also like Hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics is like a super group. Third Eye, fucking amazing. You didn't listen to DJ Shadow introducing?
We'll get into DJ Shadow on the Nas episode. We'll get into that.
Okay.
But otherwise, I mean, let's still we still got the Nas episode to get into.
We can go all day with these extracurriculars.
That's what I'm saying.
Day.
Like, let's finish this right now. We'll get into Nas, Illmatic. So thank you all for listening. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, listen to us, or watch us on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button, and that's it. That's how I'm ending it.